the Legal Growth Podcast, where we dive into the strategies, challenges, and success stories shaping the future of law firms. I'm your host, Aaron Fulk, and together with Legal Growth Partners, we'll bring you in-depth conversations with top legal professionals, industry innovators, and firm leaders. Our goal is simple: share practical insights, innovative strategies, and real-world advice to help your law firm scale, adapt, and thrive. Whether you're navigating growth challenges or looking to boost your business development, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. I am so excited. This week, our guest is Mark Emison. How are you, Mark?
I'm good, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So why don't you give us a quick overview of how you chose to get into law and the specialty of law you're in?
Yeah, so that goes back really to when I was a kid. So I grew up, my dad's a trial lawyer. And, when you're a kid, you don't really understand what attorneys do or what your parents do at work necessarily. I really, at first, was almost drawn away from it. I was never pushed toward it, but I think because everybody really just assumed, oh, Mark, your dad's a lawyer, so that's what you're going to do too. I thought, oh, no, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna plow my own path, and I'm not gonna get locked into anything. But then things changed as I got older. In high school, I started following him around to his trials. I started working at his law firm, and really, not doing anything important at the trials, but bringing in lunch and hauling in exhibits and boxes and things like that. And I started to really understand what a trial lawyer does. And so, as a teenager and on into college, I was just really amazed about the whole trial process, the civil justice system. I mean, growing up, my dad was just a goofball that we'd make fun of at home, but then I saw him representing real people in court and going into the courthouse just from a small firm, relatively, against 6 or 7 defense lawyers representing people who've been hurt or killed, and against some of the largest corporations, and just seeing how the courtroom works, everyone coming in on equal footing and just letting our community decide things, I was just really drawn to. And I thought I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So ultimately, I knew I wanted to go to law school pretty quickly after that. Knew I wanted to be a trial lawyer and represent people. And went to law school in Chicago and came back home for a clerkship, and then started at the law firm. It's called Langdon and Emison, and I've been here mainly focusing all personal injury, but mainly focusing on trucking cases and product liability cases, mostly auto product liability cases, for about 14 years.
Have you ever practiced alongside your dad or had to go up against your dad?
Never against him, luckily. I realized, he's actually a pretty good lawyer, once I actually saw him in action. But it's really been a wonderful experience. I'm so lucky to both have him in my corner, and his longtime partner. His name is Bob Langdon, who's an incredible mentor and an incredible trial attorney himself. So I've been fortunate. It's been really fun. About 2 weeks after I became an attorney at the firm, my dad's name's Kent Emison, had a trucking trial that I actually got to go down with him for the trial, and since then have worked on several cases with him. And at the same time, I've known Bob Langdon really since I was a kid. And he's become an incredible mentor. I've learned so much from him, and really worked probably more with Bob as I was growing as an attorney. But with that support, I always had my dad to run things by and get advice from.
Love that. So what has been your biggest growth success story so far?
Growth, as far as the law firm itself.
Yeah, in your career.
Yeah. I mean, I think what I've been impressed with our firm and our management is really growing a loyal and highly efficient staff. So we have 7 paralegals. They've all been here over a decade. So very little turnover. I think treating people well, generating a lot of buy-in, and that experience and efficiencies. They all have their own teams. And so that really allows us to leverage ourselves when we have that sort of support that can do so many things that I think a lot of attorneys don't have that benefit from. So I think really cultivating and building a staff has been a really huge part of our firm, and what we're able to do with some really complex cases sometimes, always going up against corporations that aren't thrilled about being sued, and so being ready to fight those fights in our cases.
What is your favorite non-legal skill that surprisingly has helped you out a lot in your career?
Yeah, that's a good question, but I think ultimately, being a human being, right, and not forgetting the human side of it. So if you were going to name that, I think I would say empathy, and I think you need to understand as attorneys your clients, what they've gone through. We try to spend a lot of time getting to know our clients and understanding what their life was like before, how whatever has impacted them, why we're getting involved, what their life looks like now. And I think to be an effective advocate, to really speak for somebody, you got to get to know them, to know their story. And you can't really try a case or build a story until you take the time to learn about, not just, everything's horrible, my life's over, but really when you get to know them, you see the struggle, that they're not victims, they're not giving up. And I think that having that empathy and understanding that story can really help build a compelling story to tell a jury.
I love that word, empathy. All right, so looking ahead, what trends or changes do you see shaping the future of law firms, and how are you positioning your firm to stay ahead of all of those?
Yeah, well, I guess I think about this in a couple ways. Uh, for our law firm, a big part of our work is product liability and auto product liability. So as the industry changes, as technology changes, so do we. 30 years ago, our firm primarily was known for fuel-fed fires, which had to do with the placement of where fuel tanks are, where if they're in a place in the crash that's vulnerable, there would be a horrible fire. Over time, thankfully, manufacturers have changed those designs and improved them. I mean, with what we like to think, because of a lot of these lawsuits and using the civil justice system. But as technologies change, for example, a hot topic in our industry right now is collision mitigation systems, the automatic braking systems, things in your vehicle to help prevent a crash before it happens. And sadly, these technologies have been around a long time, a lot longer than most people think. But many vehicles, many manufacturers aren't using them or making them optional, or at times they're not working. And so that's really been a big trend in our industry, is focusing on what's developing, staying ahead of it, and being ready to change and adapt with the industry.
What about these self-driving cars? Are you into that yet?
Oh yeah. We have cases where, and that's a common perception, is a lot of what you hear in marketing materials is this is self-driving, it's automated, which it's really not. The technology's not there. It wasn't our firm's case, but there was just a significant verdict against Tesla in Florida. I think it was like $200 or $300 million verdict in a wrongful death case against Tesla involving automated, quote unquote, technology that did not prevent a collision. And so, yes, no, our firm has been involved in those cases. And I think that's going to be a big trend in the product liability world moving forward.
I'm not getting in one. Not yet, anyways. I have a lot of friends in Arizona and LA. They pick them up at the airports and stuff. I'm not doing it yet.
Yeah, I'd wait on that. I'd wait on that too. That's a good decision.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on the Legal Growth Podcast presented by Legal Growth Partners. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, drop us a review, and share it with your colleagues because great insights are even better when shared. For more tips and tools to help grow your practice, visit LegalGrowthPartners.com. Until next time, keep innovating, keep growing, and keep smiling. Thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you.